Speaking of our friends in the UK, where there is a certain large clock that has inspired a certain song.
Big Ben,
That's
Big
right.
Ben.
Big Ben's got a busted arm, or something close to where the arm is rooted into his trunk. Here's Mike Tomlin, coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, dropping on us something we didn't know. We knew about all these other quarterback injuries coming out of week 2. We didn't know about this one. Here's Tomlin.
Ben has a pec injury of some kind on his left pec that could affect him from a preparation standpoint. Don't have an idea how much as I sit here right now, but we better be ready to be adjustable and deal with that.
Mike, do you know how Ben hurt his pec? And second part of the question is, are you considering making any changes on the offensive line?
I'll answer the second part first. I'm not. And the answer to the first part is I don't know specifically when Ben got injured in game. I don't know that he does. You know, sometimes just in the midst of competition, adrenaline and so forth, you just don't know. Sometimes things just come up after.
That was one of those moments where I really wish Mike Tomlin was a smart-ass, because how did he injure his pec? Playing football would be the response.
Right.
Right. But Chris, you have an idea as to when it actually happened. First of all, he's not required to say what he said yesterday. Right. I appreciate the transparency and the candor. All they have to do is issue their injury report today, tomorrow, Friday, with very cursory information as to what's going on with Ben Roethlisberger. He gave us a little insight that this is a thing. And if it's bad enough, because you can strain that area, not that I have much there to strain, but, you can strain it and you can feel it. But if it's enough that it's keeping you from practicing, it sounds like it could be a potentially significant situation for Ben to work through.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's the left pec, so that's a good thing, right? But still, I mean, even like for a right-handed thrower, that opposite pec is still being stretched out as you're pulling out or pulling away, trying to create that torque there, right? I mean, me as a lefty quarterback, that would be my right pec over here, and you're doing that and then really trying to create those opposites that we talk about. Yeah, I can imagine that it'd be painful, certainly. And, hey, he's a beat-up individual, as we know. We've discussed this a lot. I mean, this is something you put on the warning, the warning signs last year. Like, will he stay healthy? This is the play I think it happened. I don't know. It's the fourth down play, right? He took a big shot right there. But that would be my guess. I watched this game pretty thoroughly. I'm not sitting here trying to be a doctor. He did take some bigger shots in the fourth quarter, too, where maybe that's when it happened. The interception he threw in the first quarter was another big shot there. But hey, Ben's had some moments in the first 2 weeks of, I don't know how do you want to say, like almost a little reckless. Like I want to go like even on that play right there, I don't know if it's like gotten into his head that it was too dink and dunk last year, and now he's trying to prove a point that he can throw the ball down the football field. But like play that play one more time if we can in the back, Kristen and Pete, because look at the bottom of the screen here. First off, this is a big play early in the game, fourth down. Look at the middle of the three receivers, Mike, on the bottom here. The middle of the three. The outside guy is going to clear it out. He should read this play from the middle of the three into the inside guy of the three on his left side there. So go ahead, let it roll. You'll see what he does is he stares at Juju and never gives the outside guy a chance. You see right there, the outside guy's open. Easy first down. Ben can do that with his eyes closed, and it would have been there. But I don't know. This is a kind of a theme of him the first 2 weeks of maybe being a little too greedy. I don't know what exactly is going through his mind there, but, when you pass up completions, that's what can happen at times, and, that's worrisome for a guy that's, like you've always said, beat up, and now he's taking shots like that. And I think Tomlin makes that comment, Mike, to kind of get his team ready, to brace them, right? Like, hey, we don't want to shock everybody when they walk in the building Wednesday morning, so get your head used to this, guys. We might not have Big Ben this week.
Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins are the two alternatives. Haskins has not done enough to supplant Rudolph yet, so it could very well be Mason Rudolph on Sunday against the Bengals. They have a date with the Packers coming up at Lambeau Field the week after that. But, hey, this is the reality. When you're 39 and when you notoriously eschew the TB12 method. Remember, there was a report that Ben Roethlisberger had cleaned up his diet and was doing all this fancy stuff to try to prolong his career. And he's like, nope, fake news. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And he's taken so much physical abuse over the course of his career. That has been my concern from the moment his elbow went week 2 of the 2019 season.
Yeah.
That it's going to be, even though the elbow's fine, it's going to be something else. It's going to be another body part. Or it's just the fact that, and as you get older, you realize this, things that you used to bounce back from quickly, you no longer bounce back from quickly. And it can snowball, Chris. And if he tries to will his way through it, what happens? He ends up compensating somewhere else. And then he gets an injury there.
Yeah.
And then he compensates somewhere else. And before you know it, he does justice to that photo that makes the rounds from time to time where he's got an ice pack on every joint on his body after a training camp practice.
100%. You know, that's the injury bug right there. It usually starts to creep to other areas of the body. I mean, think about it. You know, you're playing quarterback. Your left pectoral's hurt. Oh, now somebody hits you. You're about to get, driven into the ground maybe where that left pec is. Now you try to, unnaturally move your body to protect it as you're going to the ground. Oh, man, now something else is hurt, to your point. Right. There's just so many different things that come into play once you're banged up that way that affect the rest of the body. So it's certainly something to watch out for. I mean, they have not been able to run the football effectively yet. You know, I think they've played two pretty good defenses. I mean, I don't think the Raiders is a great defense. I think really the bottom line is, Mike, and where Mike Tomlin probably goes, no, we're not making any changes to the offensive line. He wants to give them a chance. Let them play together. Get some continuity. I think they're still trying to figure out what works for their offensive line in the run game and toying with that. Like, are they a zone blocking team, inside, outside zone? Or are they a block down, let's pull the guard, more man blocking and root people out? I think that's what they are. I think ultimately, I don't think they're athletic enough to be the zone blocking team. So we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, Mike Tomlin's going to give this a chance first so they can form that continuity, and maybe they can get Najee Harris, who looks pretty good when he does have space or somewhere to go with the ball in his hands.
And really, what are you going to do to your offensive line? The best guys that you have are already playing. So you're going to say, well, maybe we were wrong. Maybe the guys that, based upon weeks of preseason preparation, we deemed to be the starters aren't as good as we thought, so we're going to bench them for others. You know, they had 80% turnover on the offensive line. They have a brand new offense.
Right.
This is a weird Frankenstein monster of a team when you think about it, Chris, especially offensively. Ben came back.
Yeah.
Then they use a first-round pick on a running back. Then they have 80% turnover on the offensive line. But then they keep Juju Smith-Schuster, and they've got all these great receivers. But what is their identity going to be?
Exactly.
How is this going to work?
Right.
Or is it just hang around long enough and hope your defense can save your ass week in and week out so you win more games than you lose? I feel like that's the identity.
Right now,
we have a great defense.
Right.
And we hope that we can hold the opponent under 20 points, and we hope that some way between running, passing, and maybe a blocked punt at a key moment like they had in Buffalo is going to give us enough points to win the game.
I think that's the kind of the way they got to play right now. You know, they got to play a game where, like, hey, offense, don't screw it up. Just don't screw it up. And they kind of screwed it up last week to that point. And it was, the difference in the football game in a lot of ways. You know, not to say they still would have won, but the offense certainly put them in some tough spots with Big Ben's interception, missing the fourth down that we just saw there towards midfield. But, hey, can we show those clips again too? Like, the offensive line's not the issue there. He's patting the ball 4 and 5 times as he's sitting there. The pocket's great. I mean, here you go. This is one of those plays again. 1st and 10. People are open. He has the tight end over the middle, the back over the middle. He's looking deep. There's a lot of this with Big Ben right now where he's being impatient, and I'm shocked by that. That wasn't pass protection. All right, this one maybe a little bit. That's the interception, though. Originally, I think that's the interception. Originally, he had time, and, again, here, time's not in the issue again here as well. So I don't look at it and go, oh, man, the Steelers' offensive line is just horrible. They're not great in the run game yet, certainly. But the pass protection has not been an issue to me through 2 weeks. We'll see where it goes. But Big Ben's got to clean up his play a little bit. I think that's the biggest thing, more than anything. You know, last year, yeah, changing plays, dink and dunk. This year it feels like, yeah, he's trying to dispel that myth or that fact of last year. And, hey, I also say maybe he's still getting used to the new offense a little bit too. And maybe there are some intricacies and things of that nature in it that, you know, he's just not comfortable with yet and not seeing the field the proper way because he's thinking about too many things.
Just the mere fact that you're working in a new offense with a 39-year-old quarterback is a recipe for problems. And I said from the moment that they re-signed, restructured, got him to take a pay cut, decided to bring him back because it felt like they were getting ready to remove the Band-Aid in the offseason. Yeah. I said by November or December, both sides are going to regret this. And, of course, after they beat the Bills, I heard from a lot of Steelers fans saying, hey, you know, up yours. Well, not
this week.
Makes a hell of a difference.
Hear from this week, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crickets this week. Yeah. And Chris, to get back to something we talked about yesterday with the fact that there isn't an owner in Green Bay that constantly has that all-in, let's go win. This is the downside of having an owner who wants to win the Super Bowl every year. This may have been a smart year for the Steelers to take a step back and kind of rebuild for the future. They're going to regret after this year that they didn't maybe spend more time grooming whoever the next guy is, pivoting away from Ben, whatever the case. Now, there's still 15 games to be played, and they could end up 16-1.
Right.
They could figure it out. But I think they remember when all of a sudden they decided they were going to go with Ben one more year. We thought, or at least I thought, and I think you agreed with me, they had enough time after the loss to the Browns where they sat down and said, you know what, our problems are just this. We can fix that. We can be even better next year. We can compete for a Super Bowl. Let's go do it. And I think that when we look at it now, we say your problems run deeper than just a tweak here and a tweak there. And maybe they can fix it on the fly. Yeah. But now they're in that mix where they got to, you're changing the tire on a moving car.
Right. They do. Yeah, you're right. They're not going to be able to, they're going to have to play a certain style now and hopefully, or hope for that the offense can kind of find its groove and what works for them as a football team and Big Ben. That's what they're in the process of doing at this moment. But, yeah, it's not going to be easy. It's not. But, yeah, here's the interception. It was that play before. Man, that's just that's a rookie play. I just can't believe Big Ben did that at that moment. That did lead to 3 points for the Las Vegas Raiders. But it's a little all over the place like I've talked about. And right now, the only time I see any positives of the Steelers is when it's man-to-man, and this was even a man-to-man play here, where he just goes, okay, now I can just, if I see a crack or I can fit the ball in there, I still can throw the ball pretty well. I'll take a shot there. But, like, seeing the field, reading defenses is not exactly a strength for him right now at this point. And, Mike, I mean, you're right with the other part of it. I think they got caught in the mix of like, wait, our defense is a Super Bowl defense, and our offense, we have some pretty damn good receivers. Do we really want to rip the Band-Aid off with the new quarterback and try to figure all of that out? And that, I think, ultimately led to what you're talking about, the decision of bringing him back. It's a tough one. It really is. And the owner thing, I think, plays a part in it too. Hey, we saw the Mara family, the Rooneys, the Maras, be maybe a little too loyal to a quarterback towards the end of the career. The Maras couldn't rip the Band-Aid off the Eli Manning thing, and here you got, Ben Roethlisberger. So I think it's a very fair point for you as far as that ownership thing and talking about that as we did yesterday too.
Yeah, they are, I think, hopeful that, well, everyone's hopeful at this point that it's all going to work out. I have my doubts. I had my doubts. My doubts were quieted a bit after they beat the Bills week 1, but the doubts are back in full force, and we'll see what they do going forward.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.